I was on my motorcycle. I got hit by a school bus. I got completely incapacitated, broke up a significant percentage of my body.
So I'm a product guy. I've
Yeah.
always been a product guy. Everything I've ever worked on has been products. They threw their playbook at my product line and it was a disaster.
Welcome to my podcast experiment. This video is an extract from a personal coaching session with two of my mentors where we discuss why owners decide to exit their business, the possibility of selling the brand to an aggregator, sourcing to Mexico and the US, and we talk about what we call the product guy approach to e-com. I'm an engineer with extensive experience in product design and manufacture. My passion is to empower small innovators to transform their product ideas into sustainable businesses. Now, let me introduce you to our participants. First, we have Mark, the founder of Gentent and the inventor behind the best safety canopies for generators in the market. He's a veteran businessman with plenty of experience. One of his greatest feats is seamlessly blending US and overseas manufacturing to maintain IP control while staying competitive in the aggressive marketplace that is Amazon today. Next, we have Dana, the Chief Revenue Officer of Tracefuse, a company dedicated to removing bad reviews from Amazon sellers. Founder of Ecom Triage, a consulting company that helps Amazon sellers optimize for profit. P.S. Sorry for not pronouncing your name properly during this conversation. Enjoy the video.
The generator. This is going back to 2008 now, and I was still running this fiber to the home equipment company up here, and 3 years later we sold it, and I took a year off, and my wife asked me what I was going to do, and I said,
You mean get out of the house?
Yeah, exactly. And I said, well, I'm going to, I'd been going to the gym since I got out of the rat race. And she's like, no, you don't get it. You're in my space. Go find something.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what the hell I want to do. And she says, well, why don't you fix that generator thing you've been complaining about? And then I looked at there was no products out there for it, and there was a bunch of do-it-yourselfers. And I thought, well, what the hell? The market is huge. I should try to penetrate that. And launched the first product over 10 years ago. And now we're working on expanding the product line with Maurizio and, a number of things. My wife, actually just tonight, she says, no matter what happens with us, we've been successful because my initial investment was $50,000, mostly for tooling, and we've made a whole bunch more back than that. So
good.
It's all good.
Have you considered selling the company?
I had the guys at Elevate.
Yep.
So they were knocking on the door, and we got to the point of kind of a final offer a couple of years ago. And I've danced with several others as well, but the numbers just didn't. They just, at the end of the day, they weren't attractive enough to move, so it didn't. So instead we're taking. I think we're taking the tougher road. If I had exited, then I'd be out, and who the hell knows what I'd be doing.
More Skyrim.
Yeah. And so, we're taking the more difficult road, but I think by the time we're done, the valuation will be probably 5 times what it would have been. And so then we'll go on our merry way. Besides, Maurizio owes me a Lamborghini out of this.
That's true. That's one of the promises.
Yeah.
Plus, you're going to have more time to spend with your girlfriend. So I guess that's the plus, right?
Yeah. Well, you better get the extra wide Lamborghini then, I guess.
Exactly. That's the only way you can get her. She's, she's a high level woman.
High-end woman.
Exactly.
Maurizio, you're the one that started it when we got back into your car.
Dude, you broke my car.
I know.
You still owe me.
I still owe you that damn. I actually looked it up. I can get you one. I'm going to get you one, and
I'm just kidding, man.
The next package.
I'm just kidding. What I find really interesting, and the reason why I really wanted to do this experiment is because, and maybe this is a wrong assumption, but my assumption is Mark, you represent a different, like within the ecom, let's say within the brands and the different owners of brands, I could say that you're like a subset of people who are willing to do innovation without it being the only option possible.
Right.
Like you give it certain level of priority, you like it, like you enjoy the process of creating something new.
Yeah.
Whereas with Danan, what I see is someone who's so good and so skilled in marketing, then he doesn't feel any need at all to like do innovation. And maybe I'm making the wrong assumption then, and please correct me if I'm wrong.
So I wouldn't say that I'm so skilled at marketing so much as I am at convincing people of things.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
because
that's awesome.
What's that?
That's awesome. You don't even need marketing then.
Yeah. So when it comes to my sales, the way Mark, I'll give you a bit of back story on me now. And Mauricio, I'm not even sure we've discussed this, but I'm going to go into how I got into Amazon. Is 2010. I was on my way to work. I was on my motorcycle. I got hit by a school bus. I got completely incapacitated, broke up a significant percentage of my body, ruptured internals, stuff like that, ICU, all that kind of stuff. And as a traveling salesman, that, all those bodily injuries and morphine were not conducive to doing business, nor were they conducive to travel. So I had to figure out a way to make money. And I stumbled upon Amazon when a buddy of mine who was running a vitamin company that was a sister company of the company I worked for said, yeah, I just got my vitamin on Amazon. This was 2010. Wow. So, I'm on the verge of medical bankruptcy, and I've been fired from my job because I'm not showing up because we won't get into that, but I've been let go because I'm not showing up to work. And essentially what I did is I started selling those vitamins as well, and then had a 20% increase in sales every single month, I think, month or quarter. Anyhow, the sales were going up. And then other vitamin manufacturers started coming to me, and other products, I should say, not just necessarily vitamin manufacturers. And so because I had no money, but at this point, my wife and I had skills, I said, okay, well, I want exclusivity to your product on Amazon. I want the product on consignment. I'll pay you once a month for what sells. And my best-selling products were products that were already being marketed and sold outside of Amazon. Yeah. So there were people already searching for it. And Amazon, of course, buys ads from Google. Right. Because they can, back in the day, before you even had to pay for ads on Amazon, they would buy ads. So I once saw an ad on Google for the vitamin I was selling. I was like, who the hell's selling this vitamin? And I clicked on it, and I'll be damned if it wasn't me. But now Amazon basically arbitrages those leads to a degree, where they buy the traffic to that keyword on Google, resell those ads to you. Yes, right. And then so today I do not run any advertising. I still get my product on consignment, and then I pay my partner for what sells that month on the 5th of every month. It just makes it easy because they've already got the inventory. They don't have to worry about Amazon, right? And does it cost them money? Yes, it does. But it's like, not all. Some brands, they don't really care about Amazon. They just want the placement, right? Right. And if they don't have to deal with the headache of the inventory and the returns and all that stuff, then they're happy about that. Yeah. So do you handle inventory at all then? Just FBA inventory. I don't warehouse any inventory myself. Yeah. No. Well, I met Mauricio at this trip in Mexico last year that Amy Wees put on. Yeah, and
and to be honest, so I'm a product guy. I've always been a product guy. Everything I've ever worked on has been products, patents, innovation, new stuff. And Amazon to me was just another channel. Although, when I went to the show last year, we had been, a couple years steadily into FBA, and our sales were growing like crazy, and Amazon fees are just piling up, and we got, we've gotten some awards from Amazon. We've been invited into their SaaS Core program.
Okay, that's good.
We got some really good traction with them.
Yeah.
And one of the guys on my staff is just excellent at it. And it's become the dominant channel. But I wasn't building an Amazon business per se. I was building a business, and Amazon is a channel.
Yep.
So is Lowe's and Home Depot and Walmart and a whole bunch of other ones. Plus, I have a white label program where I'm actually making the product for 3 different generator companies now. Cool. We'll have our fourth one will close within the next couple of weeks, we think. And then we got a huge one that's planning to come in. So, I'm going to end up being an arms dealer for generator tents, which is going to be great.
Funny story. I'll tell you later. I actually know an arms dealer.
Oh, there you go.
So, Mark, would you say that you think of the product first before you think of the sales,
Absolutely.
For example? For
Absolutely.
you're more like product focused, and that's what you said. You're a product guy.
I think of what problem am I trying to solve?
Yeah.
And how do I do it in a way that nobody else would think of? Mm-hmm. But that is very cool and is it's solid solution. You've seen how I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually want to take just a second to pause here because Mark said something super important. Mm-hmm. Maurizio, based on your board mix, the technical validation process. Mm-hmm. Let me I'll add the link to it here. Let's see, where's the chat?
If you want, I can share my screen and.
Sure. Yeah, it's super simple. So, just one of the things that's in there is problem recognition. What you're missing is whether there are people that are looking to solve that problem.
That's right.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here. Right there. Yep.
Yeah.
You need. I guess it's technically. It should be. Technically under market research, mm-hmm. but there needs to be an audience that want the problem solved.
That's right.
That was something that jumped out, and Mark just reminded me of that.
That's exactly it. And I'll tell you what, the biggest marketing expense that and effort that I've had from day one is awareness generation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I found that for this particular problem, there were 20 different DIY guys that were out there trying to solve it, and then there was one guy selling an $850 plastic container that he put fans in, that was more expensive than the generators, and people on Amazon were complaining that it was they were melting the damn thing. But so I did the research on the size of the market, and I just did a scoping of what I thought the available market would be, or I had the addressable market. What's the available market, and what did I really think percentage wise people would go after?
Yeah. What do they call that? That's SAM.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Total addressable market, serviceable addressable market, and total obtainable market, I think.
Obtainable market, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, so we ended up creating a category. Actually, I don't know if you got my message, Maurizio, but today the National Association of Fire Marshals sent me, actually the National Fire Marshal, who we've been working with for the last year, sent me a document where they are now endorsing my product categories.
Oh, sweet.
And
Did you get a logo with that?
Well, and they won't talk about my specific product, but my product is the only one that's flame retardant.
Yep.
And so they put in there, our first recommendation is to get a generator tent and make sure it's made with NFPA approved materials. It's like, I'm the only one, so we're going to take that to town for sure.
Yeah. So they won't, have they specifically said they will not specifically endorse your product?
That's correct. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right, fine. Maybe you can use their logo with their statement.
Oh yeah. Believe me, we're on a path because I've got all my competitors' gear, and we burned it, and it's highly flammable, and we've already alerted Amazon that they might be selling some dangerous products, and now the National Fire Marshal, and we're working with the Consumer Product Safety Commission and our own delegation. I mean, it's been a whole separate, I'm changing the game, right? I'm not just going to compete with idiots on Amazon who are trying to knock me off and put dangerous products out there.
Yeah.
I'm changing the entire game.
Yeah.
So, actually Maurizio and I have a little program going on we call Screw You China, because we're leveraging something out of China. We're going to make it better. We're going to make it my own. And then I'm going to integrate it into the generators. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't manufacture in China anymore because I'm just done.
Yeah.
Really?
Done with dealing with them.
And where are you making that?
My products right now are made in Pakistan and the United States.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good for you. Good for you. We're working to move out. I mean, that's why I went to Mexico last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually looking for opportunities, and we're actually making a trip in this month, right? We're going to
at the end of the month. Yeah.
Where are you
probably
headed?
going to be mostly Monterey. I don't know if Condomex is going to come through or not. But we're not going to go to Guanajuato because there's nothing there for us. They take too fucking long.
I think Querétaro would be a good place to visit as well. Monterey and Querétaro. But we can discuss that later.
Yeah.
So one of the things I've noticed is that, first of all, although I would say Mark comes from, he's a product guy, and he's more similar to me in the fact that he has an engineering background. He likes building stuff, he likes dealing with things. Yep. Whereas Dan, and I see you more like the guy that just, gets the sales or just, gets the money, closes the deal. It's more about the process of selling than creating something, right? And I'm not sure if it's as easy as just splitting the universe of e-com owners. There's some people that just start doing random things and eventually they'll end up doing something. Although I guess we all start like that. But that's the reason why I wanted to put you guys together, because I think you guys represent two different views that eventually converge in the same thing, which is doing an e-com business. But you guys start with different philosophies, I would say, to creating a business, and overall a different interest in that. Creating an Amazon e-com business is just basically a tool that you guys use for different things.
Yeah. And my skills lie in Amazon, but I'm fully aware that it is only one marketplace, albeit monstrous.
Yeah. It's like 90% in the States, right?
What do you mean 90% of the States?
Like 90% of all the e-com sales happen through Amazon.
I think it's below 90. I think it's like 80%, but that's close enough to 90 to call it 100 if you ask me.
It's high.
Yeah.
I actually left the Mexico trip with a tremendous amount of respect for people that can start with, okay, I want to build an Amazon business, and then they go find niche products, you know, and then the ease of or the simplicity of that kind of a business where you're running direct into FBA, you know, and then dealing with the exceptions and leveraging the fact that Amazon takes care of everything else, you know. I mean, to be honest, it never occurred to me. And I'm sitting there in this room in this Mexican trip, and I'm looking at all these people going, holy shit, I'm a fucking idiot. You know, I do everything so hard, you know.
Yeah. So that I actually wanted to ask you, are you warehousing? Well, you've got part of your manufacturing or like completion here in the States. Is that correct?
We do the final assembly here in my warehouse. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But part of what we're working on in Mexico is to do the final assembly in Mexico, and then distribute from there, you know. So right now we do the final assembly. Nothing, the entire product is not made in China. I've only got certain elements, so that I can't get ripped off. You know, but I pay for that because I'm doing my own assembly. And then we put it into FBA. I had a third party doing it for me, but they were screwing it up so bad that it just bring it in house, you know.
Yeah.
But it's an expensive path.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but then you've got warehousing, you've got staff, you've got taxes, you've got a whole bunch of shit.
That's right. The objective is to figure out if we can fulfill out of Monterey and warehouse in Monterey, as kind of the first step. I've actually thought about trying to do something with the Spreetail guys, but you know, it's one more level removed. You know, it comes down to what's the cost of the channel, you know.
Yeah. Pattern does the same thing, right? You know, and the thing I don't know about Spreetail, and I assume it's basically the same, but Pattern buys your inventory.
Okay. Yeah, Spreetail does as well.
Okay.
Spreetail would not do the assembly.
Yes.
You know.
Okay. So what's the name of that service? Spreetail?
Spreetail.
Yeah, Spreetail.
They're like a top 10 seller, usually I think top 5 seller on Amazon. And basically what they are a company that says, hey, we'll buy your brand from you. We'll buy your inventory, but we'll manage your brand. It's doing what I do, right?
Is this one?
Give me exclusivity to your brand, complete control, but we'll buy the inventory. The difference is I don't buy the inventory. I just partner with the manufacturer.
Okay.
That's not good for cash flow for the manufacturer, you know?
Right.
Okay. Is this their page?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So what I see is like a lot of people, and what's happening, I would say, is they're splitting the whole bunch of systems and activities that you need to do to have an Amazon brand or a business. And they just like say, hey, I'll take care of this, I'll take care of this, I'll take care of this, so that you can focus only on one thing, right?
Yes. Essentially, Mark would get to focus on product innovation and manufacturing. That would be about all he has to do, unless, of course, now I'm sure Spreetail is the same, but I know Pattern a lot better than I do Spreetail. I've never met the Spreetail guys.
Okay.
And I have the Pattern guy. Pattern, yeah. It's I think it might be pattern.com. Yep, that's them. Yep.
Yeah, this is their event. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So, do you think there's like, because what I see is like, it's fragmenting like the business, right? So right now what's happening is, okay, let's get some supplier to take care of the manufacturing. Let's get this other guy to take care of the, you know, the store. Let's get these guys to do this, and let's get these guys to do that. But these guys aggregate a lot of those services, especially on the front side, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes. And so you don't have to worry about managing a PPC manager. You don't have to worry about managing your somebody to manage your inventory. You basically aggregate all of those tasks into a single company.
So we went through this whole thing with do you know they do marketing, e-commerce marketing.
I believe I've heard of them, but I don't know them. No.
So they threw their playback. They threw their playbook at my product line, and it was a disaster.
Yeah.
What do you mean by throwing their playbook?
They have a playbook, you know, that they use for all of their advertising, all of their marketing, you know, all of their content generation. You know,
Is that like a service, like a product-sized service?
As a service, yeah. And we did that for 6 months. They basically said that they would increase our sales by 65%. And then they made the one move I told them never to do, which was don't ever blow my Amazon budget without having a conversation with us. And when I was in Monterey for that meeting, they went wide open on my Amazon budget. They overspent it by 30 grand a month. Our sales went down because
Your conversion rates probably went crashing down.
Yeah, exactly. And it just.
Sorry, go ahead, Maurizio.
No, I was going to ask, like, why did they go down, your sales, when they increased the budget?
I'll bet you anything what happened. So, Mark, I'm going to take a guess here is that it was WebEx. Was that who you said it was?
WebEffects.
WebEffects. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bet you that they go, yeah, cool. We're really good at what we do, and so it's going to be $1,500 a month plus 5% of ad spend. Yeah.
It was yeah.
Okay.
As soon as it got to a certain level, then they were, you know, taking 5%, you know, 5% on top, and it's like bullshit, you know.
Yeah. So here's what happened, Maurizio, and this is a common thing with agencies. They get paid to spend money.
Yeah.
They don't give two shits about making their customer a profit because they get paid to spend more money. Well, anybody can spend money on Amazon. Amazon loves to take your money. So what they do is they create a shit ton of campaigns.
That's right.
And they target a shit ton of irrelevant keywords or non-converting keywords, causing the spend to go way up. So they make their money, but his conversion rate goes crashing down because they're sending a bunch of traffic to a page that is not optimized for those keywords and is not relevant to those keywords. So Amazon goes, what the hell is this? Let's stop sending this guy traffic. I mean, they send the traffic, but it's like, okay, let's stop showing this guy in the organic. So my guess is that, Mark, your PPC sales probably stayed roughly the same or went down, and your organic went way down.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we basically we had a 6-month deal, and then we started peeling things back away from them.
Yeah.
You know, and then we've gotten it back to a reasonable level now.
Many of the things that you guys are talking about gives me like this idea of a lot of people, they just want to exit the business eventually, and like it feels like a Amazon or an e-com business like has this life cycle, and it fulfills its promise of growth and revenue and everything. It becomes a money-making engine, and then you exit it and somebody else starts managing it. And I don't know, that sounds like the meta game around this.
Well, that's how really how every business works, Maurizio. It just may take a longer time for traditional businesses to do that, but in the high tech space, all the various startups that I was with, and even the larger companies I was with, there's always acquisitions going on. There's always exit plans. It's just a matter of how, if I was young, if I was in my 20s or 30s and I was doing this, then I'd be wanting to flip businesses as quickly as I could.
Yeah.
Really?
At my age, I'm
Like-
kind of like, I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to work on my business to get it to a valuation that it makes sense for us to exit.
It's a key. That's actually a key thing that he just said is like executives or brand owners. The key term is work on your business, not work in your business. That's why people outsource a lot of this stuff. That's why Mark would even consider going to a Spreetail Pattern, my friend, is so that he can just continue. He can focus 100% of his time on product innovation, which is going to build his business.
Right.
Now, if he wanted to sell his business, he may or may not be working on product innovation because product innovation costs money.
Right, it does.
And if he just wanted to sell his business, he would optimize the shit out of his manufacturing, out of his assembly, and he would eke out every penny. And he'd probably do that for about 6 months and watch and show the potential investor, look at, these are my sales, these are my profits. Look at these. Look at this hockey stick. They call it a hockey stick, right?
Right. Hockey stick?
Hockey stick. Yeah. You know what a hockey stick is?
Yeah. Like the stick with the boomerang ending.
Yeah, exactly. So if you look,
Well, we don't play hockey here.
It's a pretty good description, Mark.
It is. No, I'm laughing because Mauricio's in the sunshine and heat, he's got no context of what hockey really is all about. I'll bring you to a hockey game when you're up here.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So, Mark would want to show growth, net profitability. Well, depends. Maybe not net profitability, but sales.
Yeah.
That way, because people buy these businesses on multiples of a variety of different things, but they want to see growth is what they want to see.
Right.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support will help us to continue bringing valuable content to the community.